Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the BioFlow short tutorials. These are informal tutorials to show you how to perform certain analysis, how to manage your data. In the past, I showed you how to retrieve your phenotypic, genotypic, pedigree, weather, and QTL information. Also, how to save the data, how to retrieve that data again. And in the past, I also show you the quality assurance for phenotypes. In this one, we're going to focus on the quality assurance for markers. So you can see that I already preloaded my data, and I clicked on selection, top menu, quality assurance. And then as you might remember, we have on the left 3 different options for QA/QC, for phenotypes, for genetic and pedigree data. I'm going to focus now and click on this genetic QA/QC. As always, there is 3 tabs and the different analytical modules. An information tab, which shows you the status of your data set, if it's ready to do QA, QC, or use the module in general. Some data dependencies for the different modules. Some details about the particular modules and references on the methods applied. Then we can move to the input tab, which is where we can set the input parameters to do the cleaning. Always in every module, the gray boxes indicate the parameters that will be used for running an analysis. And below the gray box, you will always have this visualization part that will help you find what is the best values for your input parameters. Imagine for a minute that I want to, use this upper threshold for missing data in markers. So I can look at the data set itself and click only on the missing data in markers and see what is the percentage of data that, has a certain amount of missing. You can see that about 80 or more percentage of the data or the markers have 0 missing data. Whereas as you move to the right, you will see that there is very few markers that have close to, actually, if you put the drop down, you might be able to see the values themselves. You can see that between 0.009, or in this case would be like less than 1% of the markers, have certain amount of missing data. And you can see the same for missing data on individuals and minor allele frequencies, observe heterozygosity and inbreeding. Let's see a missing data in individuals. You can see that this has a different picture from the one that we saw before. You can see that most of the individuals don't have that much missing data. Actually, most of them don't have even 5% of missing data, which is good. So putting this threshold basically will not capture anything. But if you want to be very stringent and say, no, I only want individuals that have less than 2% missing data, well, you will be missing, everything that goes to the right from here. Same with the minor allele frequencies. You can, for example, focus on MAF, and you can see what are the minor allele frequencies present in this data set that is coded numerically with -1 and +1, which explains, some of the signs in this particular plot. When you are ready, then you just go to run analysis and click on identify and store modifications, and it will provide an output report telling us what is the reason why certain markers were excluded or are being marked as to be excluded because percentage missing. But we can also be, have the reason that because of the MAF, certain markers, for example, marker 1, 3, 7, 5, 9 were excluded because they don't have a good minor frequency, at least not, they do not meet the threshold value that we specified. And this report can always be downloaded by clicking on download dashboard. And then you can always go back and review that report, just for keeping the records. And that is it for the QA/QC for genetic markers. You might remember that when you run an analysis, you get an ID of that particular analysis, which is a timestamp. And this has been already saved in the object. If you have to go and continue another day, we recommend you that you go to data management, save the analysis, and save it with a meaningful name that will remember you what you did. This one would be, QA markers, and I already did also the phenotypes. And then you can save this object. You can see that this object currently has used two modules, the QA of raw phenotypic data and the QA of genotypic data. And then I can save it. And then I can just close the application and come back later, and I will start exactly where I stopped. If you have any question, don't hesitate to go to About Us, Contact and Development tab, and Support Desk, so you can send us your question and requests. If there is something that you feel should be implemented, also drop us a message. Happy analysis.